and welcome to Trashy Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I'm your host.
My name is Cassandra, and I am your other host. What up?
You know, a thought just popped into my head, and if I were to, you know how it's like in movies when people get like amnesia and then people have to teach them about their old lives,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to just the concept of me reintroducing this to myself, the podcast, and just being like, no, you love this. No, these are things that you value. And you, no, you love lowbrow things. And this is okay. Would be so interesting.
Is it like in movies where they're like, well, we've got a lot to catch you up on, and then like they'll do like the major things of like, this was the president, and this is the new president. We have our first female vice president. There's a war in Ukraine, whatever. And then like someone just chooses to use our podcast to catch them up, and he's like, my goodness, there's been so many people drunk in Florida since I hit my head.
Yes. We're going to be used in hospitals around the world.
Yeah, just to catch people up on what's going on. And like there's going to be some people who like, they like 51st dates where they forget every day, and so use our podcast and listen to it every day.
Yeah, they're like
whole thing.
A man got a chicken stuck up his rectum. He's like, no, that one was proven false.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's remembering.
He's remembering. Progress.
All the journals.
Yeah, I would just love, it's like, well, Erica, no, you loved softball. That was your favorite sport. And you also tried to take a margarita home in a sippy cup from Chili's one time in college. You don't remember this? Oh. Erica, who are you on the inside?
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know why that just flashed into my head. How are you doing? What's going on with you?
I'm good. Anything new going to my house is a mess right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I don't really have anything else to say about that other than my house is a mess, and I'm traveling again this weekend, which if you're listening to this, it would have been this last weekend. So I'm just like, we've been traveling so much. It's mostly like wedding related or birthdays or other people's weddings. Like there's reasons behind it. And I'm just fucking exhausted. I can't clean the house. I can't, and I won't.
Well, if you're listening to this next week, my Nana will have just left, but my Nana's in town and my house has never been cleaner. So I'm going to send her up to your house.
Oh, is she cleaning?
She just can't help herself. So she'll just, I heard it the other day, just cleaning the guest bathroom on her knees, like in her 70s. And I was like, I heard scrubbing in the upstairs. I just heard the sound of scrubbing. And I was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just cleaning the bathroom. Don't you dare. Get up off your knees. I will send someone down there. I'll do it myself.
That would drive me crazy.
You can rest. You've earned a rest in your life.
Yeah,
I bought paper plates so she'd stop doing the dishes. It's like, we can just throw them away. We can just throw these away.
Why are you trash?
Well, I had returned to office last week, despite us being still in the middle of a global pandemic, an airborne global pandemic that is wreaking havoc on people's system. But,
what we call it the middle, I would say we're just in a spike of something that will never end. Can't be in the middle of something that will never end.
Fair. You know what? Fair. I am. Yes, very, very true. So I had returned to office, but we did a work dinner. And we went to a very nice restaurant in Culver City, and we ordered a round of cocktails. And the waitress came out and she said, and she didn't finish the sentence. She didn't even finish one of the words. We'd ordered a round of drinks. And then she said, the phrase she was trying to get out was, I have an extra drink. Who would like a free cocktail?
Oh no.
But what she basically got out was, who wants a free cocktail? And I was like, me. Like, arm up in the air, screamed me so fast because she was sitting just above my left shoulder. Like she was standing right above my left shoulder.
Could have knocked it out of her hand.
I practically grabbed it and I was like, get me. And then then I was like, oh, I'm not amongst friends. I'm with coworker. Oh, grave mistake. Grave mistake. Is this going to go on my peer review? Like the speed of which I said, yes, I want the free cocktail and didn't even give my coworkers that, that normal thing of when you pull up at a four-way stop and you don't know who got there first and everyone goes, oh, with the hand gesture, like, oh, you go. And it's like, no, you go. And then we all just politely sit there. That's what should have happened.
Or like the feeling of like the last slice of pizza.
Do you want it? No, I've had two. No, you go ahead. No, you paid. It's your house.
I'll take it. Finally.
Okay. That's what should have happened. It was she didn't even get to finish all the syllables in cocktail, which I said, I'll take it. And so she put it down. And then I said, thank you so much. It's a delight. And then she described what it was.
What was it?
It was a spicy margarita and it was wonderful.
It's so funny because like if you were amongst friends, that would have been like charming. But since you're amongst coworkers, like I know if I was one of your coworkers, this is maybe why I'm trashy, but like I'd be like, ooh, is Erica okay?
I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna set that one really slow. It's gonna take me all dinner to finish that one so they don't think anything's the matter.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me. This is gonna be a post-dinner drink, a during dinner, post-dinner drink, so that no one raises an eyebrow.
And you're not gonna order another one.
I was big time. It was like a trash flag. You might as well have just confetti fallen from the sky that just said trash.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Why are you trash?
So I've been in the throes of some dental work. I found a dentist that doesn't scare me. And finally, and so I've undergone step 2 of 4 for a root canal. Fucking sucks. It doesn't hurt as much as it's just like tedious and I don't like to go. Anyways, I've realized that lately I've kind of developed like this, like it's pretty much ever since I sold my car. So like, maybe almost a year or so. And I've just become accustomed to like walking, a lot and everywhere. And I like to walk and all that kind of shit. So I love to get my little steps in. And so I was at the dentist yesterday and this second procedure didn't take that long. And I had my partner drop me off so he could run an errand. I could have driven myself. He wanted me to drive myself, but I said, no, just drop me off. Like, go to the grocery store for us, please. So I finished quickly and I was like, oh, I'm done. Come back. And he was like, okay, yeah, I just had to run home really fast, but I'll be right there. So what I should have done was sit on the bench outside of the dentist's office and waited, like, what a normal person would do when they're waiting for a ride. But lately I've taken to, all right, I'll start walking home. And I don't even mean that like in a passive aggressive, like, oh, you're not here yet? Fine, I'm going to start walking home. I mean that genuinely, like, okay, cool, I'm going to start walking home. And what's shitty about that and what's trashy about it is that then the person who's coming to pick me up can't find me. It's not because, like I'm not always taking the most direct routes home because I don't necessarily like to walk along a busy street or if there's not a sidewalk or whatever. And so when I was finally recovered yesterday, my partner was like, "Why can't you just stay still?" I don't know. I just don't want to. I like to walk. But I mean, it's stupid. Like what I should do is I should be like, I will walk home. Don't come and get me. But then I'm like, oh, but I'm in the middle of my workday. I don't have time to walk home. But I'm gonna start. I'm gonna just fuck you over because you didn't stand outside and just wait for me. I'm like a lost child. Anyways,
It's so funny. Well, you know who else is like a lost child?
oh girl.
The gentleman in our first story.
Yes. Big news this week or last week that Britney Spears got married.
Yay, Queen Britney got married. And as Kara Crocker once famously said, leave Britney alone.
Is that
Jason?
their name now? Kara Crocker?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Did not know that.
Yep. Britney Spears' ex-husband is given a restraining order after crashing her wedding.
Britney Spears' husband, conveniently named after Seinfeld star Jason Alexander. Because when I first read this story, I said, what was Jason Alexander doing? But then I was like, oh, that's her ex-husband's name. Yeah, he was filming himself on Instagram Live, just walking around the grounds of this wedding while he was, while people were setting up, being like, where's Britney? Where's Britney? And people were like, who are you? Oh, I'm husband number one. And then like the staff was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, what the fuck?
Will she ever know peace?
Why were these staff members not? I mean, he was literally saying, I'm here to crash the wedding. He wasn't even being like, oh, I'm husband number one. I just can't find out where the guests are. It's kind of like, okay, I guess this is above my pay grade. But like saying, I'm here to crash the wedding. You're working at a celebrity's wedding. Like, don't you think you should do something?
Yeah. Also, Jason Alexander helped storm the Capitol last January 6th.
Did he? So he's used to breaking and entering.
Yes, long time Trump supporter, and there was a photo posted of him on Facebook wearing a Trump branded beanie on the streets of DC on January 7th of last year, and photos of him inside of the Capitol.
Oh, were those released alongside this?
I feel like you're sending me photos, but I can't see them.
I'm sending you photos?
Or you said alongside this.
Oh, like were those photos?
Oh no, these photos were posted in 2021.
Yeah. Oh, you were literally sitting there waiting for like alongside this?
Yes, I thought it was a reveal. Like this. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, like just because like a lot of those people who went inside the Capitol have gone to jail or like went to jail for a second at least. And so like this Jason Alexander, he did get caught by security guards and he did go to jail. He did plead not guilty to charges of stalking, trespassing, battery, and vandalism because he got in a fight with the security guards. Although it looks like he's been found guilty and now has a restraining order.
Yeah. He must stay 100 yards away from Spears for at least 3 years. Good.
Why only 3? I don't think I know how restraining orders work, but like, what changes after 3 years?
I don't, because he's typically restraining orders are granted against, Cassandra, get a ladder because I'm getting up on my high horse, but.
Hold on. Whoa.
Typically restraining orders are granted to protect women, and we hate women in this country. I don't know. Anyway, the wedding was attended by Madonna, Donatella Versace, Paris Hilton,
Selena Gomez,
Drew Barrymore, though various members of Spears' family did not attend, probably because they kept her in prison for years.
Yeah, wasn't it only her brother was invited? Everyone else was not invited.
I,
So, all
yeah,
right.
I wish them well. I wish her and Sam well.
I
So,
do too.
you know who else I kind of wish well?
The man in the next story
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
from NewYorkDailyNews.com. Arrested Arizona penis man claims there are more penis men like him.
Hear us out. Many believe that the infamous penis man graffiti artist who tagged dozens of spots in Arizona was brought to heavy-handed justice by the Tempe police on Thursday. But containing the spirit of penis man will be much harder than anyone expected.
Okay, so I guess if you live in Arizona, like please let us know. But it sounds like there's just the tag penis man all over Arizona, and it's becoming almost like it's becoming like the new Banksy for Phoenix. Because no one knows who the penis man is. And so according to the Phoenix New Times, a man named Dustin Schomer, he posted on Facebook that he got arrested in his condo by SWAT team. They said that they raided his condo, his vehicle, swarmed his entire complex, and pointed a silenced assault rifle in my face. Did they? That seems crazy, but also maybe it's not. I just can't imagine doing 25 SWAT officers in order to arrest someone who just is doing vandalism.
It is Arizona. So, and the Supreme Court just ruled that the Border Patrol can enter your home within 100 miles of the border, the US border, which composes of basically 2/3 of the population of the US and includes like LA, San Francisco, Boston. Like basically, that's the ocean, Canada, Mexico, any border. And have no federal protections, and they can come in at any time. So I don't. I think the police are they're gonna SWAT, and
All
the
right.
Border Patrol gonna Border Patrol. So we're giving them too much power. So I don't doubt this one bit.
So you believe it. All right. So
Yeah.
he was booked on 16 counts of aggravated criminal damage, 8 counts of criminal damage, and 1 count of criminal trespassing, all related to incidents where he spray painted penis man on various buildings and objects. But is this guy the penis man?
Well, that's one that's been tagging spots across the state for 2 months and captioning the nationwide attention. Schomer says no. He's just a follower who did a few months of the tagging. I'm not the original, he said.
Whoa.
Did you watch that show on Fox that was Kevin Bacon, where he was like the cult leader? Oh my God. Do you remember
I know,
that?
I know what you're talking about. I feel like, gosh, I may have watched a couple episodes, but Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I'm
Fox.
He played Joe Carroll. It was the following.
The following.
So he played
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was a former FBI agent, and this guy he was okay, that's what he was. So yeah, Kevin Bacon was a former FBI agent, and he was assisting the FBI again. So a cult leader had escaped, and his cult begins to develop again. And then it's kind of like, oh, you're like, oh, everyone's helping, capture this cult, but then it's like everywhere you fucking turn, somebody else is in the cult. So it's like, oh, this police officer, great, they're going to help us capture the guy. Nope, he's in the cult. Like it was just like it was like a fun, like the first season was fun, but like it was just like a Scooby-Doo episode where it was like, oh, zoinks, this guy's in the cult. Now like everyone was like, the shopkeeper that's selling me the gun, nope, he's in the cult. This gun is rubber. Like it was just everyone.
I can't honestly. I'm thinking about my life between January 21st, 2013 and May 18th, 2015. I don't like that part of my life. I can't really figure out why I have seen this show because I was just like 23 and like, but I've seen this show. But why? Why did I see it? But I
Oh,
saw it.
I watched every episode. I watched season 1
The
and season
following
2.
really like had like a grip on women in their young 20s.
Yes. I
Who
watched
would have
every
known?
episode. Oh, I was like, oh boy, what's gonna happen next?
It
It's like
probably was like
every
our first exposure to a constructed drama. And so you're like, this is the golden age of television. We're in it.
oh, so it was just like zoinks. I'm in the cult. It's like, God damn it.
And we're
Anyway,
all watching like,
he's in the cult too. She's in the cult. Trust no one. It was
it's fucking funny.
yeah.
Well, anyways, the point is that there's a lot of these people out there tagging Penis Man. He is not the only one. He is not even the original one. And he wrote on Facebook, Penis Man is neither man nor woman, you nor me. We are all Penis Man. Wow. Powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff. So yeah. Well, speaking of trust no one, let's get into our next story and visit Florida. From fox35orlando.com, I will hit you. Florida man 77 punches friend 84 over golf etiquette at the Villages, deputies say.
The way that I just like imagine a 77-year-old and an 84-year-old man getting in a physical altercation, like it's not even like amusing. It's more just I don't like watching men get in fights in general because it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, grow up, you know? But like, how do you tell someone who's like that old to grow up? More like, is someone around to stop them?
The way the amount of glee that I got from watching 4 gentlemen fight in Ireland, like I was like, this is worth the price of the ticket alone. But I was far enough back where I was like, they can't roll in. Like I'm out of danger zone. Like I'm out of the splash zone at SeaWorld. You know what I mean? But I could still see the show. And I don't know what, but they weren't punching. They were just kind of like mobbing each other. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like we're all friends, but we're just kind of tussle. You know, it wasn't like a violent assault. You know, it was just kind of like we're drunken idiots. That I kind of enjoy.
So what happened is around the 4th hole, the two men started arguing, which apparently is something that they did often. And one of them, Randall, 77, was standing on the green near the hole. Oh, and you're not supposed to do that. Like, you know, if someone's going to shoot into the hole, you're supposed to get off the green. I guess that's like proper golf etiquette. But then Randall was like, flipped him off and said, I'm not going to get off of the, you know, green. Fuck you. And then that 84-year-old flipped him off. Someone flipped off someone else. The other person said, do that again and I will hit you. Very offended. And then he did it again. And then he got hit. Talk shit, get hit, you know?
But I'm sure that there was like, I'm going to hit you, and then a slow climb, like a slow descent to get over to him.
Sure.
It wasn't a sprint. Like, I'm going to hit you. Boom. I'm sure it was like, when my Boniva kicks in, I'm going to hit you. I'm sorry, that's ageist. Like, that's shitty. I'm sorry. But like, I just don't picture this happening in a quick succession of events.
Well, so Randall was arrested on a charge of battery on a person 65 years or older. Is that fair? Because it's like when two minors fight, they don't get charged with, you know, assaulting a minor because they're both minors, you know? So if you're over 65 and your victim is over 65, should you get the specific charge of battery over someone 65 or older? Like,
Mm,
if you're in your 30s and you hit an old person, yes, definitely slap them with that charge. Shame on you.
mhm.
But like, once you're in this, it's kind of like pick on someone your own size. Like, I think someone who's 77 fighting someone who's 84 should just, get the standard
Yeah,
fighting
charges.
charges.
I think you should, if you're 70 to 79, you should the charges. But if you're 80 to 80, you know what I mean? Like if you break categories of years, that's the only time it should. But because they're different ages, that's why it should count.
You know what we should do is if you fall into like a certain age bracket when YouTube asks you how old you are, you know,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube's like, for your ad experience, how old are you? And so like 18 to 34, you're allowed to fight each other, like
Yeah.
35 to 55, and then 55 to, like that kind of thing. Let's look at the private companies and have them determine who can fight who.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're over 65, you should lose your voting rights. Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
Um,
anyway, on to our next story from the HuffingtonPost.com.
okay. So this came up at my dinner table, last night.
Oh boy.
And that is why I decided to include it. I don't know why it came up. Oh, right. So my partner's been getting dental work too. We're really trying to fix our teeth before the wedding. And so he's chewing on one side of his mouth and he was like, "Oh, well, like technically it tastes different if you chew on one side versus the other." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, food also tastes different if you, serve yourself with one hand versus the other." And I was like, "That's crazy. Did you know that your balls had taste buds too?" And he said, "Excuse me?" And so I went on an internet deep dive because I knew that I'd seen this on TikTok. And so I thought I would share this with everyone.
I not a scientist. I feel like the listeners know. I want to call bullshit on the serving yourself with the like if I eat with my left hand versus my right hand food serve.
This guy says, "Oh, also if you eat upside down, it tastes differently."
But
Apparently, you're activating different taste buds. I don't know. He's not a fucking scientist either.
all right, all right. So
The
TikTok,
point is,
yeah, let's get into it.
yes, from HuffPo.com. No, your testicles do not have taste buds. Stop dipping them in soy sauce.
So it started innocently enough. TikTok user crying in the car logged onto a popular app and shared an eye-raising scientific finding with her followers. Did y'all know if a dude puts his balls in something, he can taste it? He can taste it, she asked, showing a screenshot of a 2013 Daily Mail article that seemingly proved as much. If you have,
go ahead.
If you have testicles, please dip your balls in something. It's for science, and I must know.
It's a call to action.
It's for science.
Yeah. So there's a TikTok user, Alex James, who had more than 1 million followers on the app at the time of this writing. And he was the first one to put it out there that he could taste something. He's sitting in his car. He dabs his finger in soy sauce. His hand goes down outside of the view of the camera, touching his balls, I'm assuming. And he is like, "Oh my God, I can taste it. I can taste it. Oh my God, y'all. What? And so then fucking everyone on TikTok started dunking their balls in soy sauce and claiming they could taste something.
So the actual study, which was published in the Journal of Molecular Human Reproduction in 2013, found that male testes do indeed have taste receptors. These receptors can also be found in the digestive system, the respiratory system, the brain, and spermatozoa.
I wonder if it's like how you like when they say like, "Oh, smell is fucking half of taste" or whatever. Like if
Mhm.
it's like that, where when you can smell something cooking and in theory you can kind of taste it in a way.
Mhm.
Maybe it's
Mm.
because it's saying that it has taste receptors similar to respiratory systems. That's what I'm thinking, is that if you get your balls near something, you can kind of taste it. But I
Well,
I don't
yeah.
think so.
Yeah, Emma Beckett, a food and nutrition scientist at the University of Newcastle in Australia, said that taste receptors aren't the same things as taste buds. And she said, in other words, your testicles can't test a damn thing, taste a damn thing. In other
Um,
words, your testicles can't taste a damn thing.
yeah. So Aaron Spitz, a urologist and author of the Penis Book, A Doctor's Complete Guide to the Penis, uh, said, "You don't want your testicles to have taste buds." He said, "I've seen guys' balls covered in pretty nasty stuff like fungal infections, and not their owners don't have a bad taste in their mouth. Not to mention all the awake vasectomies I perform without my patients complaining of tasting soap from the surgical scrub, nor a burnt flavor when I sear their tubes with catering or whatever this word is, cottering iron."
Pottery. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that it's like you're not thinking of that when you're dunking your balls in soy sauce. You're not
Mm-hmm.
thinking, I'm pretty sure I've had like I don't taste soap in the shower.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but here I am dunking my balls anyways and swearing to taste soy sauce.
So, user Stewie Lewis said, it may have just been my senses becoming heightened due to the fact that I was putting my balls in something in an unfamiliar place, but I did feel a strange sensation as soon as it touched the sauce. It was different than normal tasting, but I could absolutely tell I was sensing something with my balls. My body could tell it was soy sauce. Could it?
Whatever you need to tell yourselves, honey. I am disappointed though that because there was a piece of me that was hoping by bringing this up at the dinner table that I could convince my partner to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have been extra funny if he did it and he was like, nothing's happening. And then I just got him,
Yep.
gotcha.
Gotcha.
You got soy sauce balls now.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So I'm always have tons of questions about the male anatomy and balls,
Mm-hmm.
and find a comfortable male to ask them to. And from BuzzFeed, there was a Reddit post asking men, do they have questions for women that they're too uncomfortable to ask?
So, some of these questions, when you're platonic friends with a man, do you want to be treated exactly how he treats his male friends in terms of tone, the inside jokes, and the way and time spent? Or is there an expectation to be treated differently as a woman?
I figured we could answer these, Erica, in case any
Yeah.
of our male listeners are wondering these things. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about that one?
I expect to be treated pretty platonically. I do expect to be, I guess, talked to a little bit. I do expect to be talked to a little bit, maybe, like I guess more than male friends, because I feel like a lot of male friends are like, "Hey, how's it going? Good," and they could not talk for like 9 months at a time, and that's like fine, like nothing's the matter. But if I don't talk to like a female friend for like 9 months, I'm like, she hates me. She hates me. So it's like, and I have to turn that switch off when thinking about like a male friend. But like for the most part, it's like, I mean, jokes are jokes. And yeah, a lot of my like male friends, it's also becoming like couple friends,
Mm-hmm.
like the older I get, it's like, oh, I'm also friends with their partners. I'm also friends with their partners and their spouses and stuff like that. But yeah, for the
Yeah.
most part, it was different probably in my 20s, because I think a lot of my platonic friends I also had probably crushes on. So I think it depends on the age that you are.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I expect platonic friendships with men. Like, you should probably treat me the same, but within reason, I guess. Like,
Mhm.
I don't want to be like subject to like really like gross things. But yeah, I don't know. Like I kind of agree that like maybe it's like if you treat me differently than your male friends, like I might become a nice outlet for you to have a friend that you can actually speak to. Not saying that all men don't talk to each other. I just know that, like you're right, they don't talk sometimes as much. And so it's kind of like, hey, like I know you got something in there, buddy. Like go ahead and we can have longer conversations than maybe you can have with your other buddies. And that's a-okay with me.
It's nice.
Keep it platonic. The next question is, with periods, is it a gush, a small leak, or more of a drip every so often? This is a good question.
This is a great question. I have just a nozzle where I just choose when I want and on and off. And so I just, mine it's just like a lemonade, like a gallon glass jar where I just say on, off.
The answer to this question, of course, is all three.
Yes.
Yep. Just depends. Just depends on the day.
Nope.
I love this one. I go to the gym and I see women wear these sports bras that have like 10 straps. Well, I think that's a cool style. I wonder how they put it on and not get tangled in the straps. I love these strappy sports bras, and practice, determination, and a couple times where you fail and you do get tangled in the straps.
I know this is going to seem weird, but how do you control your pee stream? It's easy as a guy, but I'm not too sure it would be for a woman.
It's not.
You can't stop midstream?
I mean, I can stop. It hurts though.
It does hurt. Yeah,
and I can't control where it goes. Like that's why we have to sit on the toilet, because like it's not something I can aim.
Yeah, you have to aim your whole body. Really, it's not we don't have like a nozzle. Really,
you aim your whole body, but it still has the opportunity to go. Like like when there's like a fire in a hotel room and like the sprinkler goes off on the ceiling. That's what I imagine happens in the toilet. Because when I squat, I feel like over a toilet. I feel like there's always some cleanup after. So,
why do women have an abundance of pillows in their homes? Couches, beds. I get having one or two for comfort, but I've seen women with over 5 pillows.
Because it looks good.
Looks good. Also, I mean, I love comfort. Like you said, comfort. It brings the room together. It's like the rug in The Big Lebowski. It really ties the room together.
Ever heard of an accent pillow? I mean, you need it. Like your couch looks barren without it.
Yes, I need 1 to 2 pillows for my head. I need a pillow between my knees. Sometimes I like a pillow just for my feet at night. Just a little pillow for my feet to feel like I'm a queen.
I need 2 to 3. I need 1 for my head, 1 to hold on to. And then if the one that I'm holding on to isn't big enough for my knees, I need 1 for my knees. That's just sleep. But like on the couch, yeah, like it's just comfort,
It's got to look nice.
Yeah.
I had a work discussion. It was like a Friday, like 4:00, and I had a male coworker. Hey, off topic, but if you don't have yourself a pregnancy pillow, one of those giant U-shaped pillows, he's like, I advise you getting one. And I was like, 100% get a pregnancy pillow. Love the pregnancy pillow. Neither of us have been pregnant. And so the 2 pregnant people that have had birth on my team were both like, wait, why? Like neither of them had one, and we're questioning why we had one. And so we were advocating for these pregnancy pillows. And then other team members were like, why not just have 2 to 3 pillows? And we're like, 2 to 3 pillows can separate and scatter like the wind.
Yeah.
A pregnancy pillow, that's all connected. And we just went on a huge we were salesmen for these pregnancy pillows, and
Damn, I want one of those.
it was a fun Friday conversation. Yeah, it really made the time go by, and it was
Good,
great.
good,
So,
good, good, good.
yeah.
Speaking of urine,
Yes, yes, and how we control it.
I just pregnant women pee a lot. According to apnews.com, Boston Transit Agency tries urine sensors on elevators.
You're in trouble no more.
Ooh.
The Massachusetts Bay Transit Authority hopes with new program to tackle public urination in system elevators with technology. The MBTA, which services Boston and the surrounding areas, is launching a pilot program this summer in which urine detection sensors will be placed in 4 downtown elevators. The sensors will alert transit ambassadors who will dispatch a cleaning crew. All right.
Yeah. So basically, if you pee in an elevator, there's a sensor on the ceiling with an attached fan that sucks in air all the time and can smell, if you pissed.
There you go. And yeah, the pilot kicks off in August, and data will be collected for several months before the agency makes a decision whether to implement the program by the year's end.
Basically, do people piss in these elevators often enough for us to put these sensors in all elevators?
The answer is yes.
Gosh, what a shitty job is that cleaning crew too, because you just sit around, you're on call. It's like being a doctor on call, except you're not getting called in to save someone's life. You're getting called in to clean up piss in an elevator.
But it's equally as important.
Absolutely. Apparently, this is not a new concept. The Metro Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority launched a program a decade ago that would trigger strobe lights, alarms, and alerts to the MARTA police when urine was detected in an elevator. The elevators also were inoperable until they were cleaned. That program was deemed a success.
Feels like a overkill. For the elevators to stop, that feels like
feels like overkill.
That feels like overkill. It's like if my commute is slowed down because somebody I'll ride in a piss smelling elevator as long as I'm on time to work. Clean it, but for the whole thing to stop,
sure, but would you if you were some sort of person who would take a piss in an elevator in the first place, and then alarms and all this kind of stuff started blaring, I bet you wouldn't pee in an elevator again. Bet it would teach you your lesson.
Yeah, that's how they potty train 2-year-olds in Atlanta now. They just take them into these elevators.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, my most recent experience riding the metro to and from DragCon, I'm kind of for this because it would be really, really nice for it not to smell so much like pee everywhere. I never rode the elevators. I didn't need to. I didn't have a bike or anything, but there's also outside of the elevators smells like pee. So in general, just too many people are peeing in metro stations. And
I was on a Reddit thread and there was a sign. It was the anti-work thread, and there was a sign that said, for every minute you're late to work, you will have to stay 10 minutes after, to work 10 minutes more after your shift, which is illegal. And people were arguing in the comments, and somebody had posted it to Twitter essentially, and then somebody on Twitter, some boomer, was like, get to work on time and it won't be an issue. And somebody was like, well, somebody, my train the other day was delayed because somebody jumped on the tracks, something happened on the tracks. I'm like, well, plan, leave early to get to work. And they're like, so you want me to get to come to work 45 minutes to an hour early in case somebody does something disruptive to the train once every 6 months? It's just
in case someone decides to kill themselves that day, I have to put I have to make myself go to work 45 minutes early every day. Yeah, that's bullshit. And honestly, like
That
something that
fucking attitude.
I like to remind myself this all the time is that you're a grown up and these people aren't your parents and they aren't in charge of you.
Mhm.
So, yes, there's consequences such as losing your job. But if you're being abused at work or taken advantage of, then losing your job might not be the worst thing. And also, you might not actually lose your job. Sometimes people power trip in order to keep you there, and it's manipulation.
Mhm.
But really, they need you. I don't
Yeah.
know. I wouldn't tolerate that. If I'm a minute late for work, you absolutely cannot make me stay 10 minutes later. Fuck you. That would be
Yeah.
the answer to that.
I'll work a minute late, but yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, well, it's 1 minute late today. It's 15 minutes late the next day. Then what's next? 2 hours late. It's like, go fuck yourselves. I hate that
What's
attitude.
next is writing that person up and firing them for being late all the time. You're not my mom.
Yeah.
Can't make me do anything. You're not my mom. Remember that, listeners. No one can make you do anything.
Speaking of, you're not my mom. Let's get into our next story from NPR.org. An anti abortion activist scales skyscrapers to spread his message. He calls himself the pro life Spider Man.
So I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of this guy's views. I think that they're stupid. But Mason DeChamps, who is 22 years old, a finance student at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, likes to free solo like these huge buildings in order to raise money for pro-life groups.
That's everyone has a passion and a mission, but free soloing is the most like fuck you reckless thing I've ever like I can think of nothing more reckless. Like freebasing heroin while going between buildings on a tightrope would be less dangerous, I think, than free soloing. But I can't. I just don't understand it.
I think that the irony of it is what drew me to this story is that, first of all, you're pro-life, right? And yet you're doing one of the most dangerous things. If you don't know what free soloing is, I've got two things for you. One, go watch Free Solo, that documentary on Hulu, and get ready for your palms to fucking be clammy for an hour and a half while you watch these lunatics. But two, free soloing, of course, is you're rock climbing or you're climbing in general, but without any harness, any ropes, nothing. You're just climbing. So to free solo a building or anything for that matter, you don't have ropes means one wrong move, you fall down and you die.
So last summer, he was arrested while climbing the Aria Hotel in Las Vegas. He was protesting COVID restrictions on that climb.
Yeah, this guy's got some good opinions.
This guy is pro-life.
It's that's what the irony of it. Like you're gonna go say, "Oh my God, I'm pro-life." Every day I almost die. Like women or babies should be able to be born so that they can commit suicide rock climbing instead. And so he climbed. He got arrested in San Francisco too for climbing a building, the Salesforce Tower. But he was just recently climbing the New York Times building in Manhattan, and he hung a sign, which he's free soloing with a sign on him that says abortion kills more than 9/11 every week. Guy, here's the fucking thing. No, it doesn't.
Doesn't. Oh man.
The people who died in 9/11 were adults with full lives, families, the whole nine. You're comparing, this is false equivalency. You're comparing that person to a fetus that doesn't even exist yet, doesn't even know it exists yet, that isn't, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
Cells. Like you're comparing that to cells. I can't. Yeah. Anyway, but
There's
that's us.
a little bit more irony in here, and then I will again. I don't want to talk about this guy's politics, but he expects to get arrested every time he does this because this is illegal to climb buildings, and super fucking dangerous. And when he's asked about that, he says, "Well, climbing has a history of not asking permission. We have, I guess, an outlaw tradition, so we tend not to ask permission. We tend to just do what our heart tells us to do." Okay. So you're an outlaw who is protesting to put more control on other people. The irony, Erica. The irony.
It's dripping. It's dripping. Yeah.
Anyways, this guy's a fucking idiot and he's a clown and he's trash, but not in the way that we like.
I guess a lot of abortion activists are pro-adoption, and one of my favorite things is when people go to like those adoption, they're like adopt, that they have signs, and then people come up and are like, "How many children have you adopted?" And they're like, "None." So our next story, it comes to us from the mirror.co.uk, and it's a mom who was gobsmacked after adopted puppy turns out to be a dangerous endangered animal.
Yes. So owner Sue Yun welcomed a new puppy into her home and raised it for 2 years before thinking that it was time to maybe call the Yunnan Wildlife Rescue Center because it started walking on its hind legs.
That would scare the ever living shit out of me.
It feels like out of a horror movie. Like you've got a dog for 2 years. Like, this is my 2-year-old dog. And then all of a sudden it starts walking around in your house and you're like, Fido?
Sit, boy, sit.
And it just like does like crisscross applesauce. You're like, okay.
Have you seen that image? It's like a black and white image of like a creature outside of a fence.
Black and white image of a creature outside of a fence. That we're going to have to be more specific.
Hold on. There's like a creature outside of a zoo. So, okay. So it's about, okay. So there's a creature. City asked public to help identify mysterious creature caught on camera. It's from June 24th. So there's a city, it's outside of the Amarillo Zoo in Texas. And it looks like a werewolf. Like it's upright. It's a black and white image. It's taken outside of like a metal fence, like a chain link fence. Uh-huh. It's upright. I'll send you this image. But they're like, we don't know what this is. And it's like, is this a person? No, it's too small. It's too it's not hunchy. It's like a large coyote on its hind legs, a chupacabra. It's a UFO. A lot of things. Like I'm gonna text you, and I want you to weigh in because and we'll post it on our social media, y'all. Its knees look bent in, like it's upright, but its knees, that's what gets me. It's the knees. Some people think it's a coyote jumping the fence, but the knees are like inverted. It
looks like a Sonic.
Yes. Yeah.
Or like
a tall Sonic.
One of Sonic's friends. Yeah. This puppy that we're talking about in our story, turns out it was a black bear.
Her family spent 2 years living alongside a black bear before learning the truth. She really only began to question things when the animal started walking on its hind legs.
She thought that she had a Tibetan Mastiff. And so that's why she was like, oh yeah, just a box of fruit, 2 buckets of noodles every day. That's all I would feed him. But then the bigger he got, the more he looked like a bear. And I'm actually kind of scared of bears. Girl.
So suspecting something wasn't quite right, she lives near a village near the Kunming in the Yunnan province. She contacted an animal rescue team for a second opinion. Always always get a second opinion.
Yes.
Love a second opinion.
They were like, oh, yeah, that's a black bear, Asiatic black bear, also known as a moon bear or a white-chested bear. This thing was 250 pounds. That didn't make you wonder? I don't know if dogs get that heavy. Even big dogs, I don't know if they get to 250 pounds.
Well, the Tibetan Mastiffs are huge. I'm looking them up on the American Kennel Club right now.
How heavy do they get?
Ooh, 150 pounds. So
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a bear. How did you not know it was a bear?
Also, the Tibetan Mastiff looks like a fucking dog. Like, it's a big dog, but it looks like a dog. The bear in the picture from the story looks like a bear. I don't know about this. I feel like maybe she knew she had a bear, but she's like, well, maybe if I just, nature over nurture, or nurture over nature.
Yeah, she's
if I
just
gaslight this bear into thinking it's a dog, maybe it'll never become a bear. And then it stood up and she's like, looks like we have a bear on our hands. And so she had to call this wildlife rescue and be like, I'm scared of bears. My doggy. Girl. No.
You got a bear on your hands.
I don't buy it.
I would just love to be the person on the other end getting that call. Like, hello, wildlife rescue.
I think my dog is maybe a bear.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You said he has like a bare spot on his fur?
Oh no, he's walking on his hind legs and eats 2 buckets of noodles a day.
I'm so sorry. We'll have to send out we'll have to send out a team.
Please do hurry. I'm afraid of bears.
I can't even do that with a straight face. Just thinking about her raising a goddamn bear in her house and being like, it's a dog. And her child's like, Mommy, it was playing. It scratched me so much. I was playing with the dog. It's like, it's a dog. Or I was playing with the bear. And she's like, it's a dog.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, Erica, are you ready?
I've never been ready to talk about something more.
Okay, it's time for the dumpster fire of the week. Oh my God. From people.com and a lot of other places, because everyone loves to talk about this. Marilyn Monroe's dress worn to the Met Gala by Kim Kardashian appears to be damaged. Oh no. Marilyn Monroe famously wore this sparkling gown to serenade the then President John F. Kennedy on his 45th birthday in 1962. The infamous Happy Birthday to you. That shit was weird. Have you seen it? That performance?
Yeah.
It feels weird, like more than it feels sexy. It feels like it makes me it's like watching Fergie do what is it?
National anthem.
What do we got? What's that song?
The national.
Not the national.
What is it? Star Spangled Banner. No.
Something about our country and
Jesus Christ. What do we say? Fergie.
Anyways,
Fergie.
Watching Fergie
national anthem.
Have you seen it? You've seen it. Come on.
Yeah, it's the national anthem. That's what we sing. We yeah.
Anyways, it's uncomfortable to watch. That's how I felt watching this Marilyn Monroe Happy Birthday. It was more just like uncomfortable because you're like, woof, she's really milking this Happy Birthday song. But this isn't about her. R.I.P. What a crazy life that she had. Yeah. This is about, of course, Kim Kardashian.
Yes. So she wore the original dress to the Met Gala on May 2nd, the first Monday in May. And she wore it for just minutes on the red carpet, took some photos, and then changed into a replica for the actual gala. The dress is displayed at Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum in Hollywood, California right now.
Why why, if you're just going to change into a replica, even wear the dress at all?
When the replica looked almost identical, like, and the there was there, the impact was there, like the oomph was there.
Yeah, like people saw it and they got it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's doing a Marilyn. Great. Like the dress didn't fit. It couldn't be altered.
Right. Yeah, she had to lose this. She famously lost 16 pounds in 3 weeks to fit into this dress. Where she was like, oh, I wore a sauna suit twice a day. I ran on the treadmill, completely cut out sugar and carbs, ate the cleanest veggies and protein. She didn't starve herself, but she was strict. That's what she says about herself.
Which is so fucking unhealthy and unrealistic. Like the amount of damage you can do to your organs losing that much weight in that much time. Like,
Yeah.
Unhealthy, realistic standards for other people. And like it or not, you are a fucking influence to young people. Like that is so damaging to your body.
Yeah. So, anyways, she did all this work to fit in it just to wear it for a couple minutes. And now, people are pretending to be Marilyn Monroe enthusiasts. I mean, granted, the guy in this article is a Marilyn Monroe enthusiast, but I also do think that he maybe is capitalizing on, an opportunity to go viral, because Kim Kardashian's very famous. So what better way to go viral than to like hate on her? I mean, we're doing it. I'm just kidding.
I think this Morissette is sincere.
Chad
I don't know.
Michael Morissette, who owns the company.
Chad Michael Morissette. Yeah, I think he's sincere. Like he has handled artifacts of Maryland's, like her driver's license. He's touched her driver's license. He touched her high school yearbook. He's touched her ID card to Korea when she went to Korea with Joe Damasio. Like everything that's ever come up for sale of hers, including that dress. Like I think he is an obsessive. I think he's sincere, and I think he was hurt. I think other people like us are capitalizing on it.
Right. Okay, fine. I'm just saying, like, he went to go and check on the dress, which normally its little house is at Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum in Hollywood, California. Speaking of urine, this shit is right on Hollywood and Highland. But he noticed that there was damage, and he took pictures of, that there's missing crystals, and it looks like there's little rips along the zipper seam. I mean, and this is his job, I guess, is to like take care of this dress or whatever. But he said that I know this dress, the damage is so apparent. I left Ripley's in tears. I ran out with my hand over my mouth, holding back the tears because I could not believe the damage they allowed to happen for a publicity stunt. Yeah, that's fair. It doesn't make, like, I don't totally get it, why she had to wear it at all.
I don't either. And in her quote, she said, I'm extremely respectful to the dress and what it means to American history. I would never want to sit in it or eat in it or have any risk, any damage to it. And I won't be wearing any kind of body makeup I usually do, she said. Everything had to be specifically timed, and I had to practice walking up the stairs. Here's the fucking thing though. She had to wear multiple pairs of her line Skims, despite having lost the weight, to fit into it and everything. Which shapewear, I'm all for. If you want to wear shapewear, wear your shapewear. It's just, like the replica looked great and it fit her appropriately. It was made for her body. This dress was made for Marilyn's body, which were different bodies. And I just think I think it sucks. And like so many things have been fucking taken, like during Marilyn's lifetime, after Marilyn's lifetime. Like, Marilyn Monroe was buried in a wig because
wow.
the people that were preserving and taking her body cut locks of her hair and sold them. And she had to be buried in a wig.
Ew.
You know that Hugh Hefner bought the plot above her to be buried. They never met in person. He bought the plot above her to be buried above her.
I knew that.
So messed up.
Yeah, if you ever just want to go on a roller coaster of kind of a sad story, you should look into her life. But for what it's worth, Marilyn Monroe's estate, the people who manage her estate said that Marilyn probably would have been delighted to see Kardashian wear the gown. She probably would have been excited about it. So who knows? It's just a weird thing, like I don't really like to hold on to like all these material things so much. So in the part of me is kind of like, well, you let her wear the dress. So like, what did you expect to happen? And stuff. But then there's definitely the other part of me that's kind of like, if she's going to change into a replica and she has to lose 16 pounds in less than a month, and she has to do all this shit and like practice walking up the stairs, and she's just going to change. It's kind of like, what the fuck was the point of all that? Truly. Well, you could have lied or just wear the fucking, I don't know. It's just like really weird. I don't know. I don't totally get it. And personally, I feel overall just very disillusioned with the Met Gala. I kind of feel like the Met Gala ever since COVID happened, I feel less and less interested in things like the Met Gala because there's just too much income disparity and too many problems in the world and things. And I know sometimes the Met Gala just makes people happy and they like to see the outfits and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. I just personally, I'm just like, there's something tone deaf about it at this point.
New rule for the Met Gala. I'm gonna write to Anna Wintour. There gets to be a lottery, a regular person lottery, and I get like it's one regular person that gets to attend, and it's not one of the designers that buys it. It's nobody that gets to buy a table. It's just Anna Wintour draws a name out of a hat from the American public. And then that person, all outfits have to be approved by Anna Wintour, but that person has to do their best to fit the theme as well. And it's me going to like Forever 21 and just being like, do you have celestial body in this side? Going to Shein and shopping for the Met Gala theme.
It feels like the Hunger Games in a way.
Yes.
I don't know why.
It's very the Hunger Games.
All right. What are you hoarding?
Okay, I'm hoarding a documentary on Hulu called The Deep End. And it's about the spiritual guide healer Teal Swan and the cult leader, some might say, I say it. And I listened to a podcast about her called The Gateway a couple years ago, and she has YouTube videos and she does these retreats and all this stuff. And The Deep End, it kind of covers her, but it actually gets interviews with her. So does the podcast. That's what's kind of incredible, is that she's very open about access to her, which is kind of really unusual for it's just kind of, I don't have a better word for it. That's not kind of ableist. It's nuts, man. She has very, very controversial opinions on, like, her critics come for her on her opinions on suicide. Yeah. And that's kind of the big sticking point. And I just invite these people to watch it. And it's really interesting. I was watching it with my Nana last night, and The Deep End on Hulu is a 4-parter. I think more people should know about it. And I hope it doesn't, I think it's doing a good job to like deter people, but I also worry about things where I'm like, is this just going to expose more people to her? So anyway.
It's only 4 parts. They don't, because I feel like a lot of cult documentaries, they'll like, in the beginning, they'll go, hey, this is scary, and here's a quick montage of scary stuff. But then they but then they spend a lot of time trying to sell the cult at first, which I think is always interesting. But then once
Mhm.
you get deeper into the documentary, you're like, okay, I've been talked out of the cult again. Do they not do that second part? They don't do the last part for this?
I think it's only, yeah, I think it's only a four-parter.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's more. I mean, there's 4 episodes up on Hulu. I just looked, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll watch it. I just heard about her in that book that I was hoarding a few weeks ago called Cultish.
Mhm.
They talk about her in that book too. So I'll watch it.
Yeah. Give it a whirl. It's good.
Cool.
It's good. Yeah. All right. Cool. What are you hoarding?
Well, in efforts to show interest in my partner's interests, I one of his best friends is like really into Formula One racing, and then my partner was like, I would like to get into Formula One racing, and so he did, and that's all fine, but it's like every weekend, whatever. It's not every weekend. How do I say this without dragging him? Because I really feel like I'm getting that direction, and I don't mean to. It's like football where there's
Mhm.
seasons and they play every fucking Sunday. So if like someone's like whatever. So the Formula One's the same thing. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try to see if I can find some interest in this because it's car racing and I don't really give a shit about car racing. Netflix actually has a docu-series called Formula One Drive to Survive. It is 4 seasons. I started watching the first couple episodes and I was like, oh, now I'm interested.
Mm.
Now I'm in season 4, which is getting closer and closer to like real time because like season 4 takes place in 2021. And then they're filming season 5 right now because it's the 2022 season. But I was like, oh, okay, now I care. Do I love to watch the races? Probably still not very much. It's fine, but like I also like sometimes get kind of like drowsy and like I don't care. But I do find myself genuinely caring about the drivers and rooting for specific people and stuff. And also just kind of a crazy thing because like Formula One is like kind of feels like a little bit on par with like soccer or
Mm.
football as it is in all other countries where like this is like pretty big around the world, which is something that America is getting into now, like more recently.
Mhm.
And I also feel like I know something that other people don't know because now that I know anything about Formula One, now all I can do is hear people talk about Formula One. And I'm like, did everyone know about this except me? And then I feel like I'm part of like a group now. So yeah, Formula One Drive to Survive. It feels less like a sports documentary and more like a soap opera that happens to have sports in it, and I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
What are you throwing out?
I'm throwing out the British royal family,
Okay.
monarchies in general,
Yeah.
the lotteries by birth that you win, the institutions of racism and classism, the treatment that Meghan Markle has endured, the racism that Meghan Markle has endured by this family, and that it has just become, at the hands of the firm. And I, I truly believe that Meghan and Harry are, out of respect for the Queen, biding their tongue. And God rest her soul if she passes. We're gonna get the full story of what really has happened. And I hope that the Queen's dying breath is to say no more monarchy. We're done. The royal family's disbanded because Charles doesn't get to be king. I think, I think that we're done. We're done with lottery, winning the lottery and divine birth.
You
It's
think
just
it's
absurd.
over after her?
I mean, it would take a lot. It would take the public to decide. I don't think she just gets to say I'm done.
That would be
But
fucking baller though, if she
it'd be
could.
it'd be so cool. She just gets up there and declares it, and Charles is like, "Wait, what,
Does
mommy?"
does Charles not get to? now that because he's like a creep? Or does it
Oh
no
no,
one
that's
care?
Andrew. Andrew's the creep. Well,
Oh,
I mean, Charles sucks, but Andrew's the big creep and Jeffrey Epstein's friend.
right.
But Charles and Camilla, Camilla's a big, one of the big catalysts and, commenter and racist against Megan. And but Charles tolerates it. It's just, I think I'm done. I'm done with the royal families. Like, we're done.
I don't think most people in our generation or younger could give two shits about them. So it wouldn't surprise me if after Queen Elizabeth, everyone was like, okay, like no one gives a fuck anymore. Like, but that's coming from two people in America.
And the tourism is cool, and like seeing Palace was neat, but they don't truly have like authority. They are mostly ornamental at this point,
Completely.
and but like waving and being ambassadors, let them be ambassadors. And I'm done with the money and the power that is bestowed. I'm just done. It's just absurd. It's absurd in this day and age.
Yeah.
Everyone earns their spot. Do it the American way and just inherit that wealth.
Right. Yeah. Get yourselves an electoral college if you want some people to be in power that don't represent you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Do it the right way.
What are you throwing out?
Not enough storage. I feel like I don't have enough storage. I feel like places aren't built with enough storage.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to have all this stuff because of American capitalism and consumerism, but I've got nowhere to put it, Erica.
Yeah.
I needed a mop. I needed a mop, so I bought a mop. And I'm like, where the fuck am I going to put this mop and mop bucket? And like, I'm working from home. So my office, I'm coming to you live from a closet right now. My office is in a closet because there's not enough room. And this isn't just like move into a bigger place problem. Excuse you, where?
Right. Okay, Feifel goes west. Like, there is no bigger place anymore. Like,
yeah, we looked at an open house this last weekend just for fun, and I was like, oh, this is a cool house in a cool neighborhood. And it was even like, I mean, I don't want to call it affordable because nothing's affordable, but it was like closer to what we may be able to afford.
mm-hmm.
And then I was there and I was like inside and I was like, fuck, like this house, you're buying the neighborhood and you're buying the fact that you can have a house, but like there's no fucking storage here. It's worse than where I live now.
Yeah.
You're going to charge people? People are having to buy these houses that are so old and they were built back in the day when people had nothing. Clearly, I don't know. Why the fuck is the closet so small? Yeah. Did you guys not have clothes in the 50s? And meanwhile, your house that was built in the 50s is being sold in LA for $13 million, basically. I just think that maybe I don't want to be controversial, but I do think that maybe the American economy and what the expectations of Americans is maybe not realistic. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
That's so controversial.
I had to say it. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to say, but we're trying to fit square pegs into circle holes right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, whatever. I'm mad about this mop bucket is really what it comes down to. And I'm mad about that open house I saw, and I'm mad I'm in a closet right now.
Yeah.
Throwing it all out.
Yeah. We don't have any public, like there's no linen closet. There's no closet. The bedrooms have like a clothing closet in our apartment, but there's no closets. So we have like shelves that we've put in.
Yeah, like, okay, you don't have a closet, go to IKEA and spend fucking whatever money and build yourself a closet. Okay, well, now my tiny room is just even tinier because I had to insert
Shelf
this
and
makeshift closet. And
yeah.
also I could barely afford this makeshift closet because the place that I'm at, I'm either is way too expensive to for me to buy, or my rent is through the fucking roof, or it's not working.
I know. I know.
Ugh. Anyways, you can find me at Cass Cardenas on Instagram and Twitter, and you can find me on the Nooner podcast. And where do they find you, Erica?
At Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram and at Gilligal on the Twitter. And you can find this podcast at Trashy Trashy Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, or at our website, trashytrashypodcast.com, or you can email us at trashytrashypodcast@gmail.com with a story or reasons why you're trash, and we will read it on air.
We love it.
Of course, this podcast is supported by listeners like you. We're taking the PBS approach again.
You.
And we love you, baby trash cans.
Thank you.
Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.